Brissa Picache from News 3, and I would like to introduce to you the hottest topic for today: globalization and media under cultural imperialism and the global media debate. One perspective on the globalization of culture, somewhat reminiscent of cultural imperialism in terms of the nature of the effect of media on culture, but somewhat different in its conceptualization of the issue. It is the view that the media contribute to the homogenization of cultural differences across the planet. This view dominates conventional wisdom perspectives on cultural globalization, conjuring up images of Planet Hollywood and the MTV generation. One of the most visible opponents of this perspective is political scientist Benjamin Barber, who formulated his theory about the globalization of culture in the book Jihad versus Macworld of 1996. The subtitle, How Globalism and Tribalism Are Reshaping the World, betrays Barber's reliance on a binary opposition between the forces of modernity and liberal democracy with tradition and autocracy. Barber's thesis illuminates the tension between the drive for global uniformity and the desire for local diversity. This interaction, he argues, is central to understanding the shaping of the world by globalism and tribalism. In his seminal work, Barber presents a dichotomy: Macworld symbolizing the globalizing forces of capitalism that advocates for a homogenized global culture, versus Jihad representing the resistance of local cultures against global encroachment, eager to preserve their unique identities and traditions. So, Barber's thesis illuminates the tension between the drive for global uniformity and the desire for local diversity. Barber's thesis illuminates the tension between the drive for global uniformity and the desire for local diversity. This interaction, he argues, is central to understanding the shaping of the world by globalism and tribalism. However, Barber's clear-cut opposition between Jihad and Macworld, while highlighting the conflict between global and local forces, simplifies the complexity of cultural interaction in our globalized society. However, Barber's clear-cut opposition between Jihad and Macworld, while highlighting the conflict between global and local forces, simplifies the complexity of cultural interaction in our globalized society. Critics of Barber's framework argue that it tends to privilege the global over the local, suggesting a power imbalance where global forces overwhelm local cultures. This underestimates the adaptability of local cultures to global influences. Indeed, cultures are dynamic, not static. They evolve, adapting and adapting. Global influences showcasing the resilience and the creativity of local traditions in the face of globalization. This brings us to a crucial point in the debate on cultural globalization. The process is not merely one of homogenization, but also a hybridization. Global and local elements intermingle, creating new, vibrant cultural expressions. Barber's Jihad versus Macworld provides a compelling starting point for exploring the tensions between globalizing forces and local cultures. Yet, it also encourages us to evaluate and appreciate the nuanced interaction between these dynamics. First, it is based on a binary opposition between Jihad, what he refers to as ethnic and religious tribalism, and Macworld, the capital-driven West. Barber seemingly attempts to go beyond this binary opposition in a chapter titled Jihad via Macworld, in which he argues that Jihad stands in less of a stark opposition than a subtle counterpoint. However, the evidence offered in most of the book supports an oppositional rather than a contrapuntal perspectives on the globalization of culture. The second limitation of Barber's book is that he privileges the global over the local, because according to him, globalization rules via transnational capital. The second limitation of Barber's book is that he privileges the global over the local, because according to him, globalization rules via transnational capitalism. Macworld on an equal footing is to vastly underestimate the force of the new planetary market. Although it would be naive to argue that local defeats the global, Barber's argument does not take into account the dynamic and resilient nature of cultures and their ability to negotiate foreign imports. In conclusion, understanding cultural globalization requires acknowledging the agency of local cultures, and it is about recognizing their ability to engage with, resist, and ultimately transform global influences. The future of cultural globalization lies in embracing this complex Thank you for joining this exploration of cultural globalization. Let's continue the conversation until our next presenter. Have a good day, people! Thank you for joining this exploration of